My greetings to everyone. In the ongoing series of Principles of Marketing, today we are talking on environmental marketing. The controllable environmental factors and the uncontrollable environmental factors. These two important factors are very pertinent in marketing environment and they have to be taken care of and embedded in the marketing strategies. Controllable factors are those that are within the control of the organization, and these factors include the marketing mix elements known as 4 Ps, that is the product, price, place and promotion. The organizations can have a direct influence and they can modify these factors based on their marketing strategies and objectives. They are flexible, having a strategic control, you can always differentiate between the products, etc. But it is not so, and it is also having some demerits, like it is also having a resource intensive, the potential for mistakes, etc. Now we talk about the uncontrollable environmental factors. They are those which are external to the organizations but cannot be directly controlled or influenced by the firm. Now these factors include the macro environmental factors like economic conditions, technological advancements, socio-economic trends, political legal trends and the competitive actions. Now, the organizations must adapt their strategies and operations to accommodate these external factors. Now, there are some merits relating to it, like actually understanding of this kind of a uncontrollable environment. It allows the organizations to anticipate and prepare for the changes in the market, that is the awareness, adaptability, having the market insights. But the organizations have a very limited control over the uncontrollable factors, which can make it challenging to predict and manage their impacts. And also, the organization is vulnerable in terms of the risk for the organizations and also requires some proactive risk management strategies. It is very complex phenomena. So, basically the organization has to manage both internal as well as the external, controllable as well as the uncontrollable environment to have the best aspects and the best marketing strategy. Now let us explore few examples of controllable and uncontrollable environment. Now let us first explore the controllable environmental example. A company can control its product, features, pricing, promotional activities and the distribution channels. For instance, it can adjust the product designs, set the prices, launch the advertising campaign and choose where to sell its products. Now let us do some uncontrollable examples. The uncontrollable environmental example is such: a company is affected by the factors like consumer preferences, technological changes and economic conditions, which it cannot directly control. For example, shift in the consumer taste, rapid technological advancement, economic downturns can impact the company's operations despite its lack of direct control over these factors. Now, what is a static environment and what is a dynamic environment? Let us first explore what is a static environment. Now, what are its features? It is showing a very clear exhibition of a stable and predictable conditions. It is having a minimal or a slow changes in the market and industry factors. And relatively, it is consistent with the consumer preferences and behavior. Now, when you talk about a static environment, it is definitely the environment which is predictable, stable, very slow and consistent with the consumer preferences and behavior. So, as the name suggests, static environment, it is predictable. So, the organizations, they don't have to worry about a static environment because the organizations can make a long-term plan and the strategies with a higher degree of certainty and higher degree of precision. Next is your stability. The operations and the strategies can be established and maintained with the minimum need for the frequent adjustments, and also about the reduced risk. the lower likelihood of a sudden disruptions, allowing the organizations to operate with less uncertainty. Now we talk about the next type of environment, which is dynamic in nature. As the name suggests, it is ever-changing, evolving, and there are some constant changes and evolution in the market and industry factors. You cannot predict a condition of equilibrium or a condition of no change. It is constantly changing and evolving. There is a rapid technological advancement, so shifting the consumer preferences and the frequent competitive actions. So the uncertainty and unpredictability due to the pace of the change. Next is your dynamic environment. The first is your merits. So the innovation opportunities. The rapid changes can create the openings for the new products, services and the business models. Next is your adaptability. Now the organizations that can quickly adjust to the change may gain a competitive edge. Now when you talk about a dynamic environment, as the name suggests, it is an ever-changing environment. So it definitely comes with opportunities, it comes with a threat. So the organizations have to constantly explore the innovations, the opportunities which are coming their way and need to re-strategize their product, services and the business models accordingly, and also adjust very quickly in terms of adapting with the changes in order to attain the competitive edge. Next is your market differentiation. The dynamic environment allows the organization to differentiate themselves through agility and responsiveness. Now, if you are taking care of the dynamic environment in a very diligent and a rational way, the day is not far that you become a market leader, because definitely you are practicing, adapting the agility and you are being more responsive to the changes which are happening around you. Now, coming on to some demerits. The first is your instability. The constant change can lead to the operational instability and changes in the long-term planning. Next is your risk exposure. The greater exposure to the market risk and the uncertainties requiring a proactive risk management. So these are probably the different demerits what we have discussed. The first was instability and the risk exposure, and also about the resource intensiveness. So adapting to a dynamic environment may demand a significant resources and continual strategic adjustments. So we can say that the static environment offers predictability, stability, but may lead to a stagnation and complacency. Meanwhile, a dynamic environment presents the opportunities for innovation, differentiation, but it requires the heightened adaptability and comes with the increased risk and resource demands. Successful organizations must carefully navigate the unique characteristics and challenge of both static and dynamic environment to achieve the sustainable growth and success. So we can say that organization needs to be more broader in the outlook in terms of embedding the static and environmental changes which are taking place, and definitely in a very strategic way. Only then the organization can expect, and definitely it will lead to achieving the sustainable growth and success. So, now coming on to what is the environmental scanning. As the name suggests, the environmental scanning is the process of systematically gathering, analyzing, interpreting the information about the factors and the forces in the external environment that can potentially affect an organization. In the context of marketing, environmental scanning involves monitoring and evaluating the factors like the market trends, consumer behavior, competitive actions, technological advancements, regulatory changes and economic conditions. So this process provides the organization with the insights and intelligence that can inform their marketing strategies, decision making, and operational planning. Now, definitely, there is a need and significance of scanning the business environment which is relating to marketing. So, let us discuss the need and significance of scanning the marketing environment. The first is anticipating changes. The environmental scanning allows the organizations to anticipate and prepare for the changes in the market, industry, and the consumer behavior. By staying attuned to the external factors, the organizations can proactively adapt their marketing strategies to align with the evolving conditions. Scanning the marketing environment, it helps the organizations not only in identifying the opportunities for the growth, market expansion, and the product innovation. Simultaneously, it also enables the recognition of potential threats and the risk, such as shift in the consumer preferences, competitive actions, or the regulatory changes. Next is your strategic decision making. Now, the insights gained from environmental scanning inform the strategic decision making process. So, by understanding the external environment, the organizations can make informed choices about the market entry, the product development, the pricing strategies, the promotional activities, and the distribution channels. Next we talk about is enhancing competitiveness. Understanding the marketing environment is very essential for maintaining the competitiveness, and the organizations that effectively scan the environment can identify the gaps in the market, differentiate their offerings, and respond more effectively to the competitive pressures. The next we talk about is the innovation and adaptation. The environmental scanning can actually reveal the emerging trends and technological advancements that may present the opportunities for innovation. It also supports the organization's adaptation to changing the consumer needs and the preferences. Next we talk about is a risk management. By monitoring the marketing environment, the organizations can identify and manage the risk associated with the market dynamics, regulatory changes, and the competitive pressures. So, this allows for more proactive risk mitigation strategies. Scanning the marketing environment is very critical for the organizations to remain agile, competitive, responsive to the ever-changing conditions in which they operate. So, it provides a valuable insight that informs the strategic decision making and help the organizations capitalize on opportunities while mitigating the potential threats and the risk. Now we will be discussing on the micro environment and the macro environment. The micro means a small. The micro environment refers to the internal factors that have a direct impact on operations of a particular business or the organization. These factors are generally very closer to the company and can include the stakeholder, supplier, customer, competitor, and the company's own internal elements like employees, management, and the corporate culture. Now, in a business context, understanding the microenvironment is very crucial for developing the effective strategies, as it allows the companies to assess their strengths and the weaknesses in relation to their immediate surroundings. By analyzing these internal factors, the business can better understand the dynamics of their operations and make informed decisions to improve their performance. Now, in the business context, when we are talking about, the microenvironment can be categorized into two parts, the internal and external. Now, there are some internal microenvironmental factors which includes the elements within the company like employees, management, corporate culture, resources, and the organization structure. And in the business context, the microenvironment can be categorized as far as the external factors are concerned. So, when you talk about the external microenvironment, this comprises of the factors outside the company and still have a direct impact on their operations like the customers, suppliers, competitors, stakeholders, and the broader industry and the market conditions. The internal microenvironment consists of employees, the workforce within the organizations, including their skills, knowledge, and attitude, that is the KSA, which directly impact the company's productivity and performance. Next is your management, the leadership and decision-making structure of the organization, including the style of the management, the strategic direction, and the policies that guide the company's operations. The internal microenvironment, the company or the corporate culture, the shared values, beliefs, and the behavior that define the work environment and influence the employee morale, productivity, and the organizational cohesion. The next type of internal microenvironment is a resource, the tangible and intangible assets at the organization's disposal, like the financial resources, technology, intellectual property, brand reputation, which are very crucial and critical for the company's operations and the competitive advantage. Next we talk about is the internal microenvironment organization structure. The formal framework that outlines the reporting relationships, roles and responsibilities within the company, impacting the communication, decision making and operational efficiency. Now we need to understand and effectively manage these internal factors, and it is also pertinent. Why do we need to manage this? Because of the company's success and also the sustainability. Now we talk about the external microenvironment in the business context. The individuals or the organizations that purchase the company's products or services, influencing the demand preferences and buying behavior. The next is your suppliers, the external entities that provide a company with the necessary resource, material or components for its operations, impacting the availability, quality, and the cost of inputs. Now, when you have to discuss about the microenvironment external factors, we need to also consider the competitors, the other organizations operating in the same industry or offering a similar product or a similar service, influencing the market dynamics, the pricing strategies and the innovation efforts. The next we talk about is a stakeholder, individual or the groups such as investor, government bodies, local communities and the interest groups that have a vested interest in the company and can influence or to be affected by its activities and also by the performance. The industry and the market conditions is also one of the external microenvironmental factor in the business context. So the broader economic, social, technological and the legal factors that change the industry in which the company operates, impacting the demand, regulations and the competitive forces. So understanding, adapting to these external factors is very, very crucial, critical and important for a company to effectively navigate its competitive landscape and capitalize on the opportunities while mitigating the risk. Now, it is equally important that we need to study deeply about the microenvironment because of the following reasons. The first is the relationship building. Understanding the stakeholder, supplier and the internal factor It assists in building and maintaining a strong relationships, fostering a collaboration and efficiency within the business ecosystem. The next is your strategic planning. Assessment of internal factors allows the business to align with the resources, capabilities and the organization structure with the strategic goals, leading to a more effective planning and execution. Adaptability is one of the most important aspects of the microenvironment. We need to understand the internal microenvironmental, which enables the companies to adapt swiftly to the changes, identify the areas for improvement and capitalize on the strength, fostering resilience and agility in the marketplace. The next is your economic factors. Understanding the macroeconomic factors like inflation, interest rates and economic growth enables the business to anticipate the market trends and adjust their strategies to navigate with the changing economic conditions. Next is your regulatory compliance. The awareness of legislative and regulatory changes within the macro environmental is very crucial for ensuring the compliance, managing the risk and avoiding the potential legal and the financial repercussions. The importance of the macro environment. The first is your industry trends. The analysis of the macro environmental factors like technological advancement, the social trends helps the business adapt to evolving the industry landscapes and changing the consumer preferences, staying relevant and competitive. Next is your risk management. Awareness of macro environmental factors, it allows the business to identify and mitigate the potential risk like geopolitical instability or the natural disasters, safeguarding the operations and investments. The importance of the macro environment. The strategic decision making. The macro insights for strategic decision making, helping the business identify the opportunities, threats and the market shifts, and guiding the long-term planning and investment strategies. So, we need to understand and effectively respond to these environmental changes, and it is fundamental to a company's long-term success and also when you talk about sustainability. Next is your macro environment. The macro environment refers to a broader economic, socio-political environment, technological factors that impact all the organizations operating within a specific industry or the market. It is a key component of the external environment in which the business operates and play a very crucial and a critical role in shaping the opportunities and the threats that the organization face. So, understanding of this macro environment is very essential for the strategic planning, and it allows the business to anticipate and adapt to the changes in the external environment. So, the macro environmental can be analyzed by PESTEL, P-E-S-T-E-L framework, which stands for political, economic, social, technological, environmental and legal. Yes, we are talking about PESTEL framework. The political factors encompasses the influence of the government policies, regulations and stability on the business. They also include the taxation policies, the trade restrictions, the labor laws, the government policies, etc., and which do affect the operations in the international market also. Whereas the economic factors talks about the inflation, growth rate, interest rates, employment rates, etc., and of course, they have an overall impact on the successful implementation of these policies. The social factors talks about the societal trends, the consumer behavior, preferences, etc. And the technological part talks about the rapid changes of the technological innovation which have a transformative effect on industries, and the environmental factors talks about facing the pressure of the impact of the environmental factors. They have a deep impact on the regulations, sustainability, resource scarcity, etc. The legal factors talks about the regulations, the labor laws, the competitive laws, etc. And they have a deep implication on the business affecting their operations, cost and the market access. So, by analyzing the PESTEL framework, The business can identify the key trends and the factors that may impact their operations and develop the strategies to mitigate the risk and capitalize on opportunities. So this analysis is very vital component of the strategic planning and can inform the decisions relating to market entry, product development, resource allocation, and the risk management. Thank you so much.